Hi ladies and gentlemen, it's November 25th, 2016, just a day after Thanksgiving. And I wanted to make this video because I know I came across as being unsupportive of Donald Trump this last time. And I wanted to clarify that I 100% support the movement he represents and him as long as he continues to try to do, I realize again, like I said before, he can't do it all, but tries to do the right thing in restoring the republic to its rightful place and protecting the American people, not the elites, and not those who use things like the BLM and EPA and places like that to obtain control over the land that belongs to the people. It's really funny because, we hear about all these bad things about, well, for instance, the Bundys is a good example. And I'm not saying I support the fact that they took over that refuge building. I could kind of understand going in there, risking a burglary charge and finding the documents because, the citizen isn't required to follow Fourth Amendment search and seizure rules. The government is. So we go in there, they go in there, they find that stuff that shows all the stuff going on with, Clintons and the Reids and different people in the government, having the BLM taking the land from the people, and then the resources being sold and given to the Clinton Foundation, political entities, China, Russia, and all that, and the American people don't even get anything out of it. That's racketeering. That's serious criminal conduct. And so you have people like the Bundys that are trying to fight the Clintons and the Reids and the Soroses, etc., and they're gone after, but the FBI and those people never go after the bad guys, the really bad guys. And that's really what the FBI should do, is to go after the bad people in government. That's really their purview. Whether Comey is corrupt or not is not the issue. It's what you see as the fruits. And so all of this criminal conduct by these elites is ignored while the little people are continually hammered down. And you people in investigative agencies and those types of things need to stop this and go back to the situation where you're there to find the justice of the situation, balance it out. And you'll say, well, that's what the prosecutor does. Now, come on. You have investigative discretion. You can go into a place and say, this guy did this, but why did he do it? Okay, like this. This guy shot this guy. Yeah, he shot a gun in city limits and killed this guy, but why did it happen? Because this guy was attacking him. So he shouldn't be charged. It's the same thing when you're talking about these large movements. Anyway, I'm getting off the point. What I really wanted to say, but I felt like that part was necessary as well. And I'm getting a little hyper even though I said I wasn't going to. I said I'd be calm this video, so bring it down a notch. Okay, so I was a little upset at Trump before, and I think it's necessary, as I said, we support his movement, we support him as long as he continues to rebuild the republic, to bring it back to life, to honor the traditions and the laws of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, the Declaration of Independence, the shield of the people against corrupt government. So as long as he continues to do that, and I know it's not going to be perfect, but I was upset at the fact that he's considering some of these RINOS and some of these establishment people, and I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that, and let's see how he works, but I couldn't let him get away with the Clinton thing. We need to hold his feet to the fire when he goes too far. And despite what Alex Jones said, that people that say it's betrayal are being fed by Soros. Hey, Alex, I'm not being fed by Soros. I can see it with my own 2 eyes and hear it with my own 2 ears. And this is what happened, if you remember, Alex. And I have a lot of respect for you. You should know that by now if you ever see these things. And I think you do. I mean, I included you in my Patriots and Tyrants video. I quote your stuff all the time. So it's not that I don't respect you, it's that, don't paint us with a big brush when we object that. You yourself say that we have to hold Trump to the fire. So, again, I'm going to reiterate. We support the movement, and we support Trump in as so far as he tries to do the right thing. Going back to this deal with Hillary, okay? The problem was that Trump stepped on his own shit there, in my estimation, okay? Because during the campaign he says what? She's a criminal and shouldn't be able to run for president. She's an abuser of women along with her husband, Bill Clinton. that there were questions about the emails and the server that wasn't from the State Department and wasn't controlled, and all the traffic that went back and forth to that was totally exposed to everybody. And then we figure out on the Huma and Wiener computer that it's probably going to be used for blackmail purposes. Gee, I wonder where that came from, right? I mean, isn't that how these perverts in government work? They get something on you and then they use it so that you'll do their bidding instead of the bidding of the Constitution and the people? Come on. So, yes, I'm going to call that out. Anyway, getting back, so we have all these crimes of Hillary. The things with Podesta, Pieczenik, and the Saudis and the Qatars giving to the Clinton Foundation to put it into the funds. The stealing of the resources, like up in Malheur and in Nevada. That go into the coffers of these individual politicians and their cronies rather than back to the Treasury of the United States for the people. Okay, so there's all this going on. And he rightly said he's going to have a he is going to appoint a special prosecutor or have his AG do it and then proceed for prosecuting her. So then all of a sudden we hear him say, well, no, I'm not going to do that because, I feel bad. They've been through enough already. They're really good people. Now, folks, come on. And Alex, come on. Those two positions, the one where he says she's guilty of crimes and should be prosecuted, rightly so, and then saying that, oh, they're good people, I don't want to hurt them. Those two positions are diametrically opposed. They're mutually exclusive, and it made no sense. I don't care what the political motivation was. We can't be doing that because then we allow our federal agencies and our law enforcement agencies to selectively enforce the law against what? The little guy who probably isn't really intending to do anything criminal at all. And didn't Comey say, well, she violated the classification laws, but she didn't have any intent to. Guess what? Classification laws don't require an intent. So we're going to let her off saying, well, she didn't have intent on a law that doesn't require it. And then we're going to go after these other people like the Bundys, etc., who didn't really have an intent to commit a crime. Their intent really wasn't there, was to stand up against the abuses of power in government when nobody would listen. And yet we want to go after the little guy. So you can't do that. You're sending a message again that the elites will be forever above the law. They can do anything because we're a little clique. We're going to take care of each other. We're going to forgive each other. I'm not a yes man. I've never been a yes man. I never follow anybody just to be going along with the crowd, the popularity. I stand by principle, even if I'm the only person to do it. So you're not going to get yes ma'am or yes sir from me when you're wrong. You're not going to do it. And I'll take a chance on getting my ass chewed to stand up to you. But you need that. You don't want people around you that shaking their head just because they want to get their next promotion or whatever. No, you're never going to get that from me. That's one reason why I made it the Lieutenant Colonel of the Army. A lot of my OERs said that, this officer can be depended upon to speak his mind. Yeah, that's a fact. That's the way it is. And if you want somebody around you that doesn't do that, then you're not a leader. If you keep people around you that only tell you what you want to hear, you're not a leader. You're a tyrant. You're a yes man. You're weak. And I know Donald Trump, sir, you're not weak. Okay? Not with what you've done. Today we saw that thing come out where you had that interview back in 9/11 talking about this is impossible for this type of thing to happen to the World Trade Centers. They're too strong for that. The planes couldn't even do that. There were explosions involved. You said that in 9/11, which brings me to my next point. And this goes to Dr. Steve Pieczenik as well. There are other avenues for this type of information, but I think it's necessary to make this one in the public eye. I might be jumping the gun here, but I see dangers. We see the situation with the recount that squirrel, and I'm going to call her that, Jill Stein is doing on behalf of the big Democratic donors and the RINOS too, I'm sure. We're going to see more problems in the streets, ISIS coming in, the border problem, all this is going to come. We're so close to an outbreak of civil war. You know how serious this is. Now, Dr. Pieczenik, you said, that the new American Revolution, right? This is the second American Revolution, when you had people in the intelligence community and those others to gather information from insiders in the government and former people, to give information about what the government had been doing, getting the emails and all this, and everything. And I won't go here and list all of it. But you talked about being able to counter the coup that the Clintons were doing in corrupting the FBI, the Department of Justice, all that, DOD, whatever. Now, I am of the opinion at this point in time that we can't back off, all right? Donald Trump might be, I heard Alex say, well, he's holding the Trump card, we got to play it at the right time. It's my estimation that we can't wait any longer to give all of this information out about the pedophile rings, about the money laundering, about the funding and arming of radical groups across the world. All of that, not for the benefit of the people of the United States, but for the benefit of those corrupt, nasty, perverse individuals who control government by blackmail and by debauchery. Okay? I think, sir, Dr. Pieczenik, the NYPD held back because of what? Well, I heard it was, and I don't know if this is exactly the case, because the DOJ threatened to come down on the Eric Garner officers. And so the NYPD kind of pulled back their expose, their criminal investigation. This is not the time. I mean, the damage done to the officers in the Eric Garner case are minimal compared to what the damage could be done to the Republic if this information is not released and released immediately. With what the opposition to Trump is doing to try to keep him out of office, and we knew that they would try to do more. We can't hold back now, sir. They're throwing a double envelopment on us with a holding force so we have nowhere to go. We have to break out, and we have to do it with all guns blazing. So I hope that you will use your influence with all the information that's been put out, that you will have the agencies that are possessing that, and even the individuals, flood this information out, and that these investigations go forward. The NYPD goes ahead and exposes the whole thing, and Donald Trump pulls his trump card on his knowledge of 9/11 and all of these false flags. We have to do it, sir. Long video here. I hope I haven't gone over. But again, I want to reiterate, I do support Trump and the movement he represents, which is they call it a populist movement. I call it the people awakening, the awakening movement to liberty, the perfect law of liberty. I just wanted that to go further. That was my first reason for doing this. My second is to show, again, that no matter how Trump feels about the Clintons personally, he has to go after them. That his statements before the campaign and now have been diametrically opposed, and that needs to stop, regardless. Justice is blind. And three, that I think we're in a situation, personally, from my military background, looking at this, political landscape, but understanding how that influences military operations, etc., that we are in a position now that we have to unload all of our ammo, or a good portion of it. Keep some in reserve. You need that reserve back there. But the enemy has to understand that we're coming after him, and that's got to happen now. Again, the NYPD has to come out, the FBI, those agents that are being restrained by the DOJ and Comey just need to break out and do it. To hell with their retirement. They're not going to be able to collect it if this keeps on. And then on top of that, it's a matter of integrity. What is that? Fidelity and integrity? Come on, let's do it. All right, well, there's some more that I could say, but I've gone too far on this one. I think I've pretty much covered the gamut on what I wanted to say this time. We're in trouble. And we haven't, as I said before, we're not out of the woods. And we're gonna have more obstacles put in front of us if we don't, blast out now. If we don't penetrate, the enemy's defenses right now. It's gotta be done.